the city. What is going on, St. Louis City fans? Welcome back after a 2-week period to Soul of the City, brought to you by First Touch Media. Today is Sunday, October the 22nd, and it's been a bit of a rut of form here for St. Louis City. We were defeated at home to Seattle 2-0 last night. Seattle Sounders become the first MLS club to do the double over St. Louis City. And it kind of makes a lot of sense if you look at Seattle as a whole. They've got a very talented squad, except for Jordan Morris, who, for reasons that you probably already know at home, he's not very talented. But obviously in this game he doesn't do anything, but there was a lot of other stuff going on. What did you guys think of this 2-0 defeat?
I don't know, man. I'm a little bit worried going into playoffs because we can excuse the last loss to Vancouver, but this Seattle one, we were trying. We had the A team out there.
We were at home.
It's
the game before playoffs.
We really just got beat by like a better team, which is crazy because they're below us in the table by one ranking, but they were better than us.
I do think that once they went 2-0 up, I feel like it was really just like a very large blow to our morale, and like it was really hard for us to get back in, especially after that own goal. Like that's not a way you want to give up a second goal. And I mean, we had a couple chances early on that we could have scored that would have really changed this game and like given us a momentum. And I think if it's even 1-1 at the half, I feel like we could very well have won this game.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, I don't know. I do think they were the better team overall. But that's not to say that we are like completely outclassed. Like we just, I think part of it does have to do with that 2-week break that we had, and we were looking a little rusty. Which, you can kind of use that as an excuse, but also like it's about to be playoffs. So come on, let's wake up.
I love to use that as an excuse because what the HE double hockey sticks is the MLS. Why is it that we like have this massive build up to decision day, and you're gonna have number one in the conference in the division wait 2 weeks to play their final game? Like it's so stupid. And so I will just go ahead and blame the faulty league that is the MLS.
Was that our first bye? Our first bye week? Because everyone else played last week. It was just us that didn't.
It might have
Seattle played last on October 7th. So that was also, they also hadn't played for a minute. So, yeah.
Okay.
The other thing for Seattle was that this win for them boosted them into second in the West.
Only because LA dropped points though, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So they will be going into the playoffs as the 2 seed, the Sounders.
Yeah. So now we know everybody. Like the points are settled. We know who's in the playoffs.
It was decision
who's in the wild
day.
card.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I guess we can talk about that game. Like the Klaus chance, I think, is the biggest determiner of who wins this game, which is crazy to say because it happened in the second minute.
Yeah.
But like it truly, that is truly what decided that St. Louis was going to lose this game.
That's how it seems to go at City Park. If you can get the crowd riled up early on, other teams cannot. They just can't figure it out after that. It opens the floodgates.
It's such a good strat because like the team is all fired up because they're attacking the goal that has all the supporters on it, and then whenever they need to like clamp down, then we're like the supporters are right behind them to clamp it down. So like I love that, and I love we're gonna have that dynamic in the playoffs. But man, did that not work the other day?
Yeah, and I thought Klaus had an exceptionally poor game in this one. I feel like he was out of position quite frequently, and we kind of see that with his style of play often, where he'll track back and like be playing right back on occasion.
Sometimes I don't mind because like it's needed, and he's only doing it because like somebody's not doing their job. I know there was one chance in the second half specifically where Klaus was literally playing right back.
Yeah,
and it's because I think Stroud didn't track back as as the midfield man, and like who knows where Jake was.
It's just like from how we play from that perspective, we kind of need him up there because it's to break quick, play a long ball from Berkey. Like him, it hurts us, I feel like, almost more than it helps us because there's no way for us to break out of our own box. That's how we like to break out.
I'm not going to tell him not to do it because it's like
I will.
someone needs to, you know. And
I mean, would you rather have him stay up and we concede a goal?
yeah.
I would rather we don't have to last ditch defend and Jared Stroud or who was even out there? Was it Watts? The formation in this
he
one
came off-
was very different. We
this
saw a
was
very
the
different
first-
look.
This was the first time we saw both the Blom and Akil Watts in the midfield together, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was really a successful experiment.
Yeah.
Because like Seattle didn't really play the long ball style of play that they played against us in the first time we played.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that's, a tactical tweak or if they just weren't able to get those passes off for whatever reason, but they were still just like cutting through our midfield. Like, I don't know. What do you guys think of the Blom and Akil Watts?
I felt like they were a little bit out of, like there was too much space in the middle of the field as a result of the formation, and like nobody knew if they should step up. Like Blom and Watts were like, should I step up and like fill the midfield role because Leuven and Jackson were more wide or trying to provide some width, but even they were like they felt pressured to come back in, and so like it just was not working out.
No,
So-
and and sitting up in the press box at times it looked, because on FOTMob it says it was 4-2-2-2, 4-2-2-2, and there was times looking up at the press box where it looked like it was like 4-3 with Watts, Blum in the middle, and then Leuven, and then AZ kind of in between Klaus and Gioacchini. So like it seemed kind of all over the place. Like it was obviously a new formation that we hadn't done anything with before. And I doubt we see it again. Truthfully.
I don't know how I feel about Watts in the midfield yet. Like we've seen him play there once. He got the start versus Colorado at CDM when we didn't have Blom.
Mm-hmm.
Now we see him like paired with Blom in the midfield, and it just like didn't work.
He's
No.
had a few good performances at that role, I think. Obviously, Blom wasn't playing next to him, which
Yeah.
kind of changes things. And I feel like you're right. Like, the jury's kind of still out on that. I wonder if it also just makes Blom, like, a little unsure of, like, what he's supposed to be doing. Like, are they both staying back? Like you said, are they both stepping up? Like, who steps up? What's that balance? I think, like, just leave Blom where he's been playing. Like, he's been one of our best players throughout the year. Like, just leave him in that role. You know, if Akil Watts needs to go play on the right side, because that's kind of what I thought initially was that we are going to have 5 in the back with Nerwinski center back and Akil Watts on the right. I think I would have rather seen that than both of them in the midfield like that.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. But you know who was a star-studded absolute PIMP was AZ Jackson.
He had a pretty good game.
He had a great game. I was very impressed with him. He had one shot off the woodwork. He was fouled 5 times. Like he was giving so many set piece opportunities to Leuven and then Vasilev once he came on. Like just real dynamic in space, finding space, going into space with the ball, without the ball. I was very happy with his performance, even though we lose 2-0. FOTMob has him as man of the match in a 2-0 loss.
Yeah. He had one nice rip in the second half that
With
was
his left
menacing.
foot?
Yes.
Yeah.
Forced a really good save. Like you said, he was off the crossbar. What else? Oh, he flicked a header on in like the first minute off a corner. That was kind of dangerous.
And not even just his like actual shots on goal, just him finding space like in between the lines of Seattle's defense and like getting his head up, looking, finding the pass. Like I think this is honestly one of his top 3 games that he's had in a city jersey.
Yeah.
I will say though, both Klaus and Gioacchini, like in the final third, they were kind of kept silent, and I think that's just credit to Seattle's defense. They've kept 14 clean sheets now this year. And yeah, they're they know what they're doing.
Yeah, and props to Brian Schmetzer, the Seattle coach. It seemed like he really had a good plan for how we play. Like he just had his center back sit back and just win every single aerial duel. Nothing was getting past them for Klaus or Gioacchini to run in behind on. And it also seemed like the chemistry between Klaus and Gioacchini was off. There was one moment, I think it was like 58th minute, where it's like 2v1 Klaus and Gioacchini on one Seattle defender. and Klaus just takes several touches too many, does not find Gioacchini to his right, and ends up not even getting a shot away.
That was frustrating.
It was very frustrating to watch because they had such great chemistry at the start of the season. And to see that moment, it was kind of upsetting to not see Klaus play him through.
They haven't had a whole lot of time together, I guess, on the pitch, like since Klaus came back. So,
It was, the strike pairing was Adeniran and Klaus up until tonight, I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this was the first start that they had since the beginning of the season. Because like right when Klaus came back, Gioacchini got his shoulder injured, and Adeniran was right in that, string of form that he had. So yeah, maybe it is just a little bit of, rust and not the best chemistry
I
together.
think Carnell thought the same thing out there at the 77th minute. He puts on Sam to see if they can just get a different look, maybe have more height and more physicality in the box against the center backs. But I think it was too little too late.
Yeah.
Joa, what do you guys think of the penalty? Or the check,
penalty
the VAR
was
check
overturned.
penalty?
I
Yeah,
mean,
do you think it was?
honestly good on the VAR.
Yeah, it was not a foul.
Nah.
I mean, I was watching from the supporter section all the way on the other side of the field, and I was like, that is absolutely not a pen.
And it was something that we were kind of critical on him at the beginning of the season, was like,
I'm still happy he does it, though. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you need
it's somebody-
somebody has to do that.
yeah,
And
it's
it
true.
might as well be him. So,
It's just not, like, when it does not turn out well, it's just not a good look. I don't like watching it.
yeah.
Because I hate when people do it against us.
Yeah. Yeah. Klaus also was kind of looking for a pen sometime in the first, right at the end of the first half. And they did not give him the call because it was kind of a clean tackle. So
Clean tackle, I remember that, yeah.
Man, you know what I noticed was there's so many yellow cards for Seattle. I can't believe they didn't have somebody like double up on a yellow card, and
Yeah.
that's where like we could have found ourselves back in that game, as if they had gotten a second yellow and they were down a man. But they had 6 yellow cards spread out throughout their entire midfield and defense. Both their center backs had yellow cards. Both wingers had yellow cards. It was just wild.
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah.
And we'll get to something a little bit later about the yellow cards. And
Yeah.
one of these Seattle players should have been sent off. In terms of substitutions, right at half, Carnell pulls Blom, pulls Watts.
Can't play defensive if you're down 2-0.
Nope.
Yeah.
And it makes a lot of sense. Blom
Yeah.
is also just getting back from international duty. He did a solid 45. He had one snapshot, and I think it was like halfway through the first half, that had some venom on it. And he's just unlucky for it to not find one side of Stefan Fry. But yeah, we see Indy and Jared Stroud come on.
I heard Blom had a 20-hour trip home from South Africa because he had to fly like up to Germany and then back to St. Louis. So yeah, he was probably a little tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give that man his rest. Indy comes on and plays. Like, it seemed like at that point we had kind of gotten back to our roots a bit, where Indy is kind of playing the 6. Stroud moves out wide, and it's more like 4-1-3-2, 4-1-3-2.
Like a diamond midfield.
Yeah, diamond midfield. Yeah,
4-1-2-1-2.
But Indy did not look comfortable in that role. That's the thing with Indy that I've been kind of upset with Carnell about recently. Actually, not recently, like throughout the entire season, is that we're moving him around to all of these different positions. So like his last few appearances, he's been playing like right mid, not right wing, but like midfield. And he hasn't played the 6 for a long time, many weeks. And he looked very uncomfortable in that role, like in terms of defending. And I feel for the guy because I don't think that either of these roles are what he really wants to play.
And didn't he get moved over to like left wing back kind of towards the end of the game?
No, Carnell was adamant that did not happen. He was like, he was playing left mid.
Okay.
Yeah, he was really angry with the guy who did ask that question. We might have also contributed to that propaganda because it kind of looked like I don't know, when
on
you watch
defense, you come back and it kind of
Yeah.
looks like it. Yeah.
I mean, we watch the Prem now, and it's like a left wing back is common.
they go
a right
up
wing
and
back.
down.
Yeah, they go all the way up and down.
midfielder. Yeah, it's
And
the
that's
same thing, really.
Exactly. You look like a midfielder. You just get back better because
Yeah.
we have
Yeah.
better athletes.
Yeah.
Now. So, yeah, I don't know. He parachuted into like a tough spot. They were down 2-0, and he's expected to play a defensive position,
Right.
even though he's like knows that he's more of an offensive player, and that's why he's in the game. So it's like you have these conflicting mentalities, or like even I don't know, what are we trying to say here? Like thoughts going on in the player's head.
And he got called up to the Olympic team for the U.S. and they called him up as a forward, which is like, and now he's playing center defensive mid.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Okay.
I can't wait to see him play for the U.S. team. I'm gonna actually watch like Olympic soccer, which I haven't done since Neymar was in it. So,
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he only got a 30-minute appearance, I think, over 2 games, I want to say.
Yeah.
Apparently, he picked up a knock while he was there.
No, I watched that back, and it looked like he just got subbed in the 30th minute for no reason.
That's what Carnell said in the post-game presser, that he came, like, there was a knock that had happened at training.
Okay.
It was like a calf thing, and that I think that's Carnell alluded to that was the reasoning why Indy did not start in this one.
I guess that makes sense why Akil Watts got the start there.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We also had, while Seattle had a bunch of yellow cards, like that means that we had a lot of set pieces. Like we had a lot of dead ball situations that were in really good spots. And I was just so disappointed with the delivery. One, like Leuven had one that was on target that he shot, and it went he went near post and low. And that one, and Fry just kind of like flipped it out. That was a pretty good chance, but like the rest of the deliveries, they were just not in. They just wasn't looking good.
I do remember one that he was looking kind of like that banger he scored against. Who was that? Where he had that free kick banger. Was it the Whitecaps?
The long range one.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Where he tries to just put it like far post, but it just skies all the way over. It's always going out.
What'd you think about his performance tonight overall?
I thought it was okay. He kind of seemed off as well, though. He had a lot of really good, like in the first half, the left side with Marcanic, him, and Joa, like looked really well, and they were playing off of each other really well. But there was just occasionally like some misplaced passes, which I feel like are kind of uncharacteristic for him. Gave away possession a couple times, but overall, I mean, he's still kind of the man. So it's hard. It's
according
hard
to FOTMob, he had the most tackles and the most duels won in the match. So
if any player is going to take anybody on, I feel like it's him.
Yeah,
like he beats a lot of guys.
Him or AZ.
Yeah.
And AZ takes on people too.
But
yeah. I can't say he was bad.
Mm-mm.
I think there are just a few misplayed passes in the final third that, if he had connected those, obviously it would have been a different game. But that was the only thing is like he looked rusty. That's really all it looked like to me.
It's 2 week. It's a 2 week break.
Yeah.
MLS.
Yeah.
And
hopefully they're back in it now.
Yeah. Did you guys have anything else that you wanted to bring up from this game?
No, I
before
really
we move into our new segment.
I feel like I've just been like traumatized by that Klaus chance in the second minute. Like we talked about it already,
Top of the
but like I
box.
can't stop thinking about it. He was literally at the penalty spot at an XG of 0.21, which is pretty
Decent.
good, dude. And like a whole goal was wide open. He knows he messed up, but and he also then after that didn't have momentum the rest of the game. So I'm gonna blame everything on that right now. So that's all I have on this game.
And also,
Tim Parker also had a great goal line clearance. We didn't talk about
after
that.
his own goal, made up for it.
Yeah.
Kind of canceled each other out.
Right.
I think he has to score. Does he have to score to make up for it, or will you give him a goal line clearance to make up for it?
That counts because he took away a goal.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Plus, you alluded to Jared Stroud getting fouled in the last few minutes of the game. Should have been a red card for Lodero.
Yeah,
because he got elbowed in the throat.
Yeah, literally
and
throat chopped.
The ref was 5 feet away from him looking at it, so I have no clue how that's not a red card.
Should have been a red.
With
Absolutely.
the VAR also looking at it, should have been a red card.
You guys can check Twitter for that one. Check our Twitter, and it's literally just he throws an elbow into Jared Stroud's throat.
Yeah.
And he's on the ground for good reason, trying to get them to go look at it. But, we're in the dying minutes of the game. Berkey runs over to him and is like, you got to get up, man. Like, we have to do something here. We can't wait on VAR.
Well, and then they got into a fight, like, right at the end of the game, too.
Yeah.
So
Klaus was
big mad.
Yeah.
Was he saying, meet me in the locker room? Is that what he was saying?
I'm not trying to fight Klaus. That's all I know.
Yeah, that kind of chippiness at the end of the game when you're losing 2-0. Now that I watch that Jared Stroud situation back, I get it a lot more. I think I was a little bit upset with how chippy it got being down 2-0. But after seeing that, yeah, like that's ignorant. It's almost...
I was out there in the crowd, and I know what I was saying.
Wanka.
Wanka.
And with that, we're here to introduce a new segment on the show, Wanka Watch, where we are going to break down the true enemies of the opposition, the Wankas. This week from Seattle, I'm going to break it down right off the bat. Stefan Fry, massive Wanka. That guy would just, every opportunity he got, just stand around. He would let his center back stand next to him. He would set himself up. And then right before he took the kick, he'd be like, nah, everybody up. Everybody move up. And would just waste as much time as humanly possible. Even when it was 0-0, before they had even scored. So he gets my first Wanka of the match.
A nomination to Wanker of the match.
Here's what we'll do is I'll lay a case for all of them. We have to pick the Wanka of the match, and we'll choose from some Seattle players here.
Okay.
Second, we've got Lao Chu. Lao Chu, before he was dynamic, I will say. He was cooking Jake Nervinsky throughout this game. But in the final minutes of his appearance in this game, there's some kind of spat that happened between him and Tim Parker. He goes down in the midst of him being substituted off. He fake limps off the field for I would say an entire minute.
He got a yellow card for
time wasting.
For time wasting, or maybe for acting. What's
embellishment?
Embellishment, yeah. Right before he goes off.
Yeah.
And everybody in the crowd
was
that's when the actual wanker chant started, and everybody was into it. They were like, "Man, this dude is just on the ground for no reason."
Wanker.
True wanker.
And finally, we have got Is it Nico Ladero? Yeah, Nicholas Ladero. Subs on in the 80th minute just for the soul. He gets a yellow even before this other situation. I can't remember. Was he the one who tackled AZ?
That was egregious. I don't know who that was though. I can't remember if it was him.
It might have been Atencio,
I think
actually.
That was Atencio.
Yeah.
Because he got the yellow for throat chopping Jared Stroud.
Oh, that's what it was for?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. So in the final minutes of the game, Jared Stroud receives literally a judo chop to his throat and goes down like we were just talking about from Nico Ladero. Honestly, should have been a red card.
Agreed.
That is our third nominee for Wanka of the match. I would
a lot
say
of good nominations.
I would say
have a fourth nominee.
Okay.
Jordan Morris. Let me read you these stats. 0 chances created. 0 shots on target. 0 accurate long balls. 0 successful dribbles. Dispossessed 4 times. Ground duels 1 out of 7. Aerial duels 1 out of 7.
Hey, but you know what? He pressured Berkey a couple times.
He put up an absolute stinker.
He was terrible. His match rating was 5.7. I think it might be the worst on the entire pitch.
Even lower than Tim Parker with a yellow card and own goal.
That is bad.
Stinker
bad.
Performance.
So who do you guys have? I'm going with Stefan Fry.
Wow,
I cannot stand goalies that waste time like that. He is so ignorant. I cannot stand that guy.
Dang. I think I gotta go with Ladero. You watch that video on Twitter and it's so bad and it should have been a red. And it's caused a fight at the end of the game. Scary Jerry got back up in his face though, so I'm happy about that. But what a wanker, bro!
What a wanker!
What a wanker!
I think they all equally deserve it, but I'll go with Stefan Frey. He was really rubbing me the wrong way as well.
And thank you guys for sitting through the wanka of the match. Let us know what you thought about that. We'd love
Wanka of the week.
Maybe we'll have a Twitter poll and have people vote on it too.
Ooh,
see what
that's a
the
good call.
people think.
Yeah. We'll chop this out maybe. Cool. So do we want to look at the playoffs now? We do have, since it was decision day, we do have a good picture of who St. Louis are going to face off against. I believe this upcoming Sunday will be the first playoff match. I don't think it's been fully confirmed, but they're saying
let's look up the
October the 29th
at 9 p.m. on a Sunday.
Thanks.
That's what I've heard.
Thanks, MLS. You guys really know how to do your job well.
October 25th are set. That's when the single game elimination match will be for the wild card.
Yep.
Is that what you guys are talking about?
No,
You're talking about our
game.
first game.
But that's good.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
the
yeah.
25th, that's this
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Nice. So KC
and-
/ Earthquakes? Is
Yep.
that who it is?
Yep.
So
And then
they'll
on the
have-
other side of the bracket, it's Charlotte and New York Red Bulls.
Charlotte squeaking their way in on
Yeah,
the
I
Western,
really didn't see them.
on the Eastern
They
Conference.
beat Miami, though, didn't they?
1-0.
Without Messi.
With
Still-
Messi.
Oh, really?
Messi played.
Wow.
Mm.
What an embarrassment.
I mean, it's a pretty embarrassing season for Inter Miami. They're officially the highest salary. 4 out of the 5 highest spending salary clubs in MLS did not make the playoffs. Miami, Toronto, Chicago, and there's one more here that I'm not thinking of.
Messi makes almost twice as much as the
Inter Miami.
entire St. Louis roster combined. Almost twice as much.
That's crazy.
And that's not even with his endorsement deals.
I mean, if I'm going to say anything about it, if there's one other MLS team that I wanted to watch this season, it was Inter Miami.
Yeah, I'm a Messi fan. I want to watch him, but I don't want to see him come into the playoffs and destroy everybody.
That's
But
true.
They can't even get past Charlotte.
Well, did you see some of the articles that were coming out around Inter Miami missing the playoffs? They were framed under this idea of, oh, while Messi's here, we really need to be taking advantage of him. He should be in this playoff tournament.
So
Let's
they were
just
just going to
expand it.
give him.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, oh,
That-
so you're just going to fully degrade any of the bare minimum meaning the MLS already has, and
That's
just
not how
say,
sports
Messi,
works.
come on, buddy.
They're just gonna give him a playoff spot.
Come on, Bob.
You know what? Actually, we're going to expand it from 9 teams to 11 teams per conference.
Actually, just the Eastern Conference gets 11 teams.
Actually, we're gonna sell him to the highest bidder of all the playoff teams that currently are in.
A mid-season loan to
Yeah.
the
MLS
That'd be
is
so disgusting. Imagine if he was just like, Messi, get your butt to Cincinnati. We're gonna see you. We're gonna see you just
We're going to
absolutely
get
clown
you an
around.
MLS Cup.
that's ridiculous.
Gross.
Who do you guys have between San Jose and Sporting? Who do you think we'll end up facing in the first round of the playoffs at home?
So Sporting Kansas City are the 8th seed.
Mm-hmm.
San Jose the 9th, meaning that this game will be played at Children's Mercy Park on Wednesday. I'm kind of expecting Sporting Kansas City to come out and have a good show. Who did
They've been in form recently. They just beat Minnesota 3-1, and then before that they beat Real Salt Lake 3-2. So, yeah, they got all their hitters back. Johnny Russell's back. Polito's back. That is something we were talking about prior to hopping on the air here is we haven't seen KC with all their full strength. I think the first game we played them at home, Polito was out. Yeah.
San Jose has won 1 game out of their last 9. And the last time they played KC, they lost 3-0. So I'm thinking KC's going to win this.
Yeah, their last match they drew Austin 1-1, which that's a pretty bad look.
Their last win was against Vancouver in August. So
That's not true. Okay, so when Kansas City, this actually makes the story even worse. When Kansas City beat us 2-1 in Children's Mercy, they had Saloy, Polito, and Russell.
Yeah.
So when they were at full strength and at home, that's a big qualifier. They did beat us. So,
But this game, I feel like, is really when a lot of refereeing mediocrity started taking place against St. Louis City. Like after this game, we went to Orlando. We had that horrible penalty call in Orlando. It's just like that game is a massive asterisk for me. They took away that Adeniran goal that was so clearly on sides.
Yeah, that was bad.
It should have been 2-2. I mean, our defense is definitely a factor that's always fearful. I'm kind of planning on playing Sporting Kansas City. I would be very surprised to see San Jose pull an upset in Kansas City.
How great is that,
Kansas
though?
City, Kansas.
We would play Sporting KC potentially 6 times in a calendar year. That's crazy. Potentially. I mean, I'm hoping that St. Louis, we wrap it up in KC.
KCK.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, what a great revenge match that would be.
Yeah.
And just celebrate on their field. They can wheel out all their dumb trophies prior to it, and then we'll just shit on all of it. That'd be amazing. It'd be amazing.
Yeah. All for nothing. It would be so cool. I am also down to bring it back to St. Louis for the third game. Although it's not quite ideal, being able to say that Sporting Kansas City are 0-4 playing in Missouri, I think that sounds really nice. I think that really helps our agenda.
Yeah, but also saying that we're 5-1 against them would be nice too.
Yeah, that's true. I'd agree with that.
Great start to the rivalry.
Or I guess what, 4-1?
4-1, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm happy to see KC. They can't duck us like they did in Next Pro, where they could have chosen to face Sporting or St. Louis, and they ended up not taking us. So
yeah, didn't they bow out first round too in Next Pro?
I believe so.
We did too, though. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not really a talking point.
Yeah.
No. I was just curious. Didn't matter anyways.
Who else we got? Okay, Seattle plays Dallas. I think after watching Seattle just dismantle us, that's a wrap.
What's Dallas's past few games looking like?
They did just poop on somebody on decision day.
Well, I know that they kind of slid for a while and dropped in the standings, but I think that's because Jesus Ferreira was out.
Yeah.
So if he's back and up and running, that might be a better game than it seems based on the seedings.
Yeah, they played Galaxy last, which really means nothing. Galaxy are pretty terrible. That's who it was who didn't make the playoffs, who were top in spending, was the Galaxy.
Galaxy, yep.
Seattle hasn't lost since August 20th. So they're like 9 games of no losing, so ties or draws. So they're hot. I don't know what do you guys say about Dallas? Are they they're doing well?
They beat LA most recently. They tied Colorado, tied San Jose, tied Houston, tied Philly, tied Columbus, then beat Salt Lake, and then tied Seattle before that. So they haven't really had the best run of form. So
let's just fill out this bracket right now.
I'm down.
While we're doing it.
I think Seattle wins.
I'll take Seattle there as well.
All right, the next matchup in the West is LAFC versus the Whitecaps. I think we're all taking LA.
LA.
Yeah.
Yep.
Real Salt Lake Dynamo. That's actually pretty good. I mean, it's the 4th and 5th seed, so it makes sense. It's like the most even of the seeded matchups.
Mm-hmm.
I think Houston's winning that one.
I agree. Yep.
They had a really good second half of the season. So
Yep. Yeah. Salt Lake did also lose. Kansas City are kind of back and forth. What's their big signing, Raw Salt Lake? Isn't his name like Lucho? He was a big Liga MX player, I believe. Hang on, let me find him. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. What's his name?
Severino? Is that what you're talking about?
No, that dude's good, though.
Oh, Arango. That was their big signing.
Cucho.
Yeah, Cucho Arango.
And they also have Diego Luna. Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, Diego Luna do be cooking. I'll take Salt Lake just to be an outsider. I could definitely see it that way.
Okay. So that means that we would be facing... So we faced the winner of that matchup right there.
Yep.
Who would you rather see, Salt Lake or Houston?
Actually, yeah, I might prefer to see Houston. We've had the better results against them throughout this season.
Didn't we beat Salt Lake 4-0?
Yeah, for our first...
Early
early on.
Yeah.
And they came and beat us, 3-1, I'm pretty sure, in St. Louis.
Let's look at these fixtures.
I'm 99.9% sure that's what happened. They were kind of cooking in that game.
Dynamo beat Salt Lake 3-0 in August. Yeah, I don't know.
When's the last time we played Houston?
Houston was
we won
1-1 draw.
We won 3-0 in June versus Houston. We lost to Salt Lake in June 3-1.
Oh yeah, but this was let me tell you this lineup though. Nervinsky, Bartlett, Parker, John Nelson, Blom, Indy, Pompeu, Ostrak, Stroud, Gioacchini.
That was mid Klaus crisis right there.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, we tied Houston last time around but we were in Houston. I think that's also a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and we would have home field advantage, obviously, over all these scrubs.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think either one of I think that's going to be pretty similar matchups.
regardless.
Whoever wins that one.
Yeah.
Diego Luna. Oh, I remember that Salt Lake game now, and he was in fact kind of cutting us up.
Okay, well then, if we're going with Seattle beating Dallas, LA, so it's LA versus Seattle in the semis.
Ooh.
Seattle's in really good form.
And LA's fallen off a little bit. It's kind of funny. I feel like LA and Seattle kind of play similarly. I feel like they have really talented wingers play from wide positions. That'll be a fun matchup to watch.
It's tough to really say which one. I'm taking LA just based on talent alone.
I was gonna say I feel like LA is the type of team to like step up when the playoffs are coming around. Like they maybe don't take the regular season, I don't say as seriously, but like, you know, maybe they just take their foot off the gas a little bit.
They won't be the home team though.
That's
Seattle
true.
is the higher seed, that's such a big deal that LA dropped points.
And Seattle plays on turf.
Yeah, that is a big deal. That's a big deal. Plus they'll have the whole what is the name of it? Lumen Field sold out for that.
Yeah.
For that
Oh my
playoff.
God, and that thing is fat.
It'll be rocking. Yeah.
That would be a good game if that's what happens.
Dang, I did say LA, but that's a tough environment to go in there and get a result.
Oh, also, we didn't even predict St. Louis versus Sporting Kansas City.
Do we need to?
Yeah, that's a wrap. I'm already moving on to St. Louis versus I guess Houston. I'm gonna say Houston.
I feel like Houston's the favorite probably.
Yeah, Houston.
I think that's a really good matchup, like a tough matchup for us.
Wait, you're saying Houston make it through?
Yeah,
I think they're the favorite against Salt Lake.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, they're seated higher, but
but I thought we've already moved. But we're saying Houston versus us, right?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking us.
Okay.
I think it is gonna be a good game though, like you said.
Yeah.
Good thing we're at home.
Yeah.
Good thing we're at home.
God.
Yep.
All right, so then we got Seattle. I'm gonna say it's Seattle, St. Louis in
St. Louis. What's gonna happen? Hopefully not 2-0 loss at home.
That's actually the semifinal. Yeah,
I
we were
mean,
talking quarterfinal earlier.
I would
Western
expect
Conference final.
I would
Western
expect
Conference.
if that's the case, Western Conference final is Sounders, St. Louis. I would expect Carnell to be in the film room for like many hours of the day.
I would expect the whole team to be in there.
Yeah.
Like, let's get Joey Biondo, figure out some social security numbers. We got to know everything about this team. Oh man! All right, well, and then you're saying that St. Louis gets their revenge.
Into St. Louis in the final, baby.
Dude, it really doesn't feel great. That's why, like, I wanted to win that game so badly last night because this is a very likely outcome. It'll be St. Louis, Seattle in the Western Conference final.
It's either gonna be that or against LA probably. I would really expect one of those two teams to win that side.
Dude,
of the
I think
bracket.
we've looked better against LA. In the two times we played Seattle, 2 times we played LA. I'm like,
what was the score the last time we played LA?
0-0. Yep,
I believe.
I'll take that over 2-0 L for sure.
Yeah, let me confirm.
Yeah, and we were kind of giving them the business, especially in the last half of the second half. We were like kind of bringing the game to them.
0-0.
They were just trying to break out. Yeah, I don't know. I want to be so optimistic just because the MLS is, like we've said all season, parity league. Anything can happen at any moment, and I'm just gonna say that St. Louis fuck around and make it to a final in their very first season. It's definitely possible. Getting past Seattle or LA is going to be the hardest part.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, here we are talking big, Dynamo or Salt Lake or Kansas City for that matter. No, I don't think there's going to be any easy handouts for St. Louis.
I agree. I think the Houston game we kind of glossed over, assuming that they beat Salt Lake. But I think either one of those two teams could really pose us some problems.
I agree.
And if we make any mistakes, I'm sure we'll get punished.
That's a one game.
Yeah,
that's a one game.
Yep. The only 3 game would be against KC or San Jose. Whoever wins that game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm really interested to see. I have yet to see anybody's like their predicted bracket on social media. I want to see how biased these MLS supporters are, and if they're just going to vote for their team to win, or if there's going to be any kind of analysis or if it's just all kind of for fun.
I mean,
hope my team wins.
if we're any indication, it's going to be pretty biased.
Okay, well, let's do this. What if we play? Let's look at the East.
Yeah.
Should we?
Yeah.
I feel like we haven't seen a lot of these teams, though, to be fair.
Yeah. So we haven't played Red Bulls. We haven't played Revolution. We haven't played the Union. Haven't played Atlanta. And so those 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we played Nashville, Orlando, Columbus, and what's the last one? We played Charlotte, and we played Cincy.
Yep.
So Charlotte, New York. Who knows?
Yeah.
knows?
I have
Charlotte?
not. I'm unfamiliar.
I would say
Like,
I would probably say
looks
Charlotte.
They looked so bad in that first game, but that's the last time I followed them.
They had Driussi.
Yeah,
That's all I
Driussi.
remember.
Yeah.
Swiderski.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say Charlotte. I don't even know who the Red Bulls have, and Red Bulls are just some corporate sponsored cuck lords, so I don't really care.
Hey, man, that's Thierry Henry's former.
And Bradley Carnell and Tim Parker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Tom Timmerman, I think, asked Brad about if he saw the Red Bulls making it in or not. Brad was like, "No, man."
I don't care about those
Yeah.
scrubs.
I hope his answer is I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who do you have? Orlando's sneaky 2 seed in this. They just, if you watch their
Dude, they've
meteoric
been on
rise.
fire.
Yeah.
They have.
But they play
Facundo
Nashville.
Torres.
They play Nashville.
They play
in the first
Nashville
round.
in Orlando.
Nashville beat us 3-0 in Nashville, and Orlando beat us off some BS penalty.
Yeah, 2-1.
Yeah, that was dumb.
I'm down to say Nashville upset Orlando.
Yeah, me too.
Dude,
they just
Hani
have more.
Mukhtar,
Yeah, Hani Mukhtar's
all
my
you
dad.
Riley's dad.
I'm hoping to see him in the final.
Daddy Mukhtar.
The Music City loves Riley Sporleader.
We don't have to go there. Columbus Crew versus Atlanta United. I'm probably saying Columbus.
Yeah.
Highly talented team.
They beat the brakes off us 4-0 in Leagues Cup. But Atlanta, they got some stars. They could.
Don't they just have Thiago Almada and
They got
Georgios
Giamakis.
Giamakis? Yeah.
They're both good. I mean, I don't know.
I'm taking Columbus, I think.
I think-
Cucho Hernandez, he be cooking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Never mind. I was going to bring up Zella Rayon, but I don't think anybody even knows what his deal is. It's just
Didn't he
MLS
score on
talk.
us?
Yeah, and then he was going to go to Saudi Arabia.
But then it
but then
didn't go
didn't.
through. So can he play? I don't even know.
I don't know if he
I don't
even
know.
has played. Keep
Yeah.
going through the matchups. I'll figure this out.
Philadelphia and New England. That's another like very solid
4v5 seed.
4 or 5 seed matchup.
Yeah, flip a coin. I got no clue on that one.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think it even matters because they're gonna get steamrolled by Cincinnati in the next round. I'm pretty
Probably.
confident that Cincinnati is like will be in the final.
I feel like they can beat either of those two teams, but I feel like maybe Nashville or Orlando or Columbus. I mean, Columbus is their cross-city or cross-state rival. And didn't Columbus beat them last time they played?
We can fact check.
But I feel like any of those teams could give Cincy a run for their money. I mean, Cincy's not invincible or anything. You know, we beat them 5-1.
There was some circumstances for sure in that situation. I'm not going to minimize it too much, but like it was definitely an odd game. Who do you have between Columbus and Nashville? If that's who we have going through, I feel like that's going to be a really good, tense 1-game elimination match in Columbus,
Yeah.
which is a famous U.S. men's national team
Home
spot.
ground, yeah.
Yeah, Columbus beat Cincinnati 3-0 just so
Wow.
in August.
Yeah, Columbus is clear of Cincinnati. If I just want to say that if I was to cheer for a team from Ohio, I'm taking the Crew. Cincinnati, you're on Wanka watch. Best believe.
So are your fans. Everybody's so worried about like American football.
Yeah, bastards.
God.
You know, our high school didn't even have a football team. I'm getting ready to post that on Twitter at some point. I think the next iteration of,
St. Louis NFL have Rams.
I think I'm going to pull that out of my back pocket and say,
Do you feel like that helps your case? I feel like they're just going to bully you harder.
why? Why would they?
I feel
I
like
don't know.
what
It's Twitter.
every single team will whip out the St. Louis, the Rams left. Haha. But like
Why is it even a talking point?
it's not the same sport.
Yeah.
No, it's
like
not.
okay, like in the Premier League, like okay, what I there's not even a comparison.
It's
I
like
can
talking
make.
about what cricket.
Oh, you lost your cricket club. Like,
your rugby club left.
yeah, right. Yeah, man.
This
So
makes
what?
no
We're
sense.
choosing between
It's
Columbus and Nashville.
Yeah, I'm taking Columbus on that one as well.
I'll take Nashville.
I'll probably take Columbus too. Also, I did just look up Zelarayán hasn't played in Hellas, but he's still Columbus's highest rated FOTMOB player.
Crazy. Cincinnati versus Union or Revolution. Do you guys?
Just give me Cincy.
Okay.
Don't even care.
So I think we got Columbus versus. It's an all Ohio derby.
Oh,
for
wow.
For
Yeah.
the Eastern Conference Final. Who do you have there?
Man,
They're 1-1 on the season, so
That's really a coin flip.
I'm
honestly.
taking Columbus. It's the bigger team in Ohio.
agreed.
All right, so then we got St. Louis and Columbus in the MLS Cup. Perfect.
In St. Louis.
Yep.
In St. Louis, exactly.
Only Cincinnati and Orlando would host if in the final, right?
Yep.
Because they're the only two with better supporter shield rankings than
Yep.
us.
Yep. It's the truth. Yeah, Columbus St. Louis final. Who would you guys realistically take? I think the Crew, if they make it to a final, are playing for keeps, and I would be fearful.
We haven't played Columbus we
played them
have
once.
and we got
4-0.
destroyed. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also we played Club America, got destroyed. They played Club America and beat them very bad.
Beat them up.
I feel
Scary.
like not a fan if I don't choose my own home city.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if we make it to a final, all bets are off. I think
it's true. Any given Sunday, boys, let's
Yep.
get it.
Any
Let's get
given
it on.
Sunday
St.
at
Louis
home.
beating the brakes out of the Crew.
St. Louis inaugural year winning the MLS Cup. You heard it here
Yeah.
first. I'm sure the other people of St. Louis have already made very similar predictions.
Yeah. I mean,
Place your bets now.
delusion level might be on 1,000,000 right now, but I'll take St. Louis over everybody. If we get
Wait,
beat
Mickey's giving us some fact checking information here. Oh, Columbus on decision day. Columbus did scoot ahead of us after us losing that game. So that final would be played in Columbus.
That hurts.
So let me reel that one in.
good thing
Actually,
we got a fact checker here.
let me look through this here. Actually, I have New England Revolution making it to the MLS Cup final. That final will be played in St. Louis.
Yes, dude. I mean, an MLS Cup final would be crazy in St. Louis. I mean, even for decision day yesterday, even though we didn't get the result we wanted, that tifo was wild.
It was so good.
They had like the Polaroid pictures coming out too.
Yeah.
That was so sick.
I feel like if the final was in Columbus, there would be a strong St. Louis contingent of fans that would travel out there.
It's so difficult though because an MLS, who knows how expensive a cup final is.
True.
If we play Sporting Kansas City, I'm probably not going to be able to go make it to that playoff game. I don't know what you guys are
We can
thinking.
probably make it to the KC game for cheaper because, their fans suck.
I heard Jonah was gonna mortgage his house. He'll take out a second mortgage.
Yeah,
So First Touch Media can make it.
you're right.
Let's go. Guys, if you see us move the podcasting studio anytime soon, it's because Jonah lost the house.
Yeah, if it's in like an alley next week, that's why.
You know what happened. It's because we bet it all to go to Kansas City to watch one game.
I could just
Anything.
take out a second mortgage and bet on St. Louis City to win the MLS Cup.
Now we're
really
talking.
double down. Yeah.
And begins our gambling addiction.
Oh man.
Cool.
Well, things are looking up, I guess, even though we just lost. But we'll see you in the Western Conference Final, Seattle. We'll see you for that rematch.
No doubt. No doubt.
Damn.
Yeah, we need some cookies against Seattle. I can't stand those West Coast elitists getting anything over us.
We could have won.
Some bastard on Twitter was talking about like Ferguson from St. Louis in
Why?
relation to like, so there was some Twitter drama surrounding, apparently some Seattle fan weren't allowed to bring like anti-fascist flags into the stadium or something, which ultimately they did. They got them in, but this guy like retweeted Emerald City supporter group from Seattle like saying this and was like, yeah, it's not surprising Ferguson is in St. Louis. It's
Dude,
like, what
they
does that
can
even
shut
mean?
up. They had a whole Capitol Hill situation happen there where it was literally taken by other members. Like, I don't know. I'm not trying to get political in the pod, but they definitely like had a very interesting situation going on up there as well.
I just don't understand how Ferguson relates to Antifa. Can someone fucking connect those dots for me?
I heard the
Anybody
only
out there?
reason the flags weren't allowed in is because they were on metal poles as well.
Yeah, there's no way, because we have so many like pride flags and stuff in our supporters section. There's no way that something like that is going to be banned because of what it is in our stadium.
100% no.
The Wankas of Seattle.
They did travel well. If you looked up in their
Do you think
supporter
those
section,
were from Seattle, or do you think they were people from closer?
tough
I guess
to
it
tell.
doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
There was 2 Seattle guys up in the press box. I didn't ask them anything. They dipped out before the game even ended.
Oh, fake.
Yeah, they didn't. They didn't want to talk. I don't know why they didn't.
Just kidding. They had won the game by halftime, I guess.
Oh, I will say, just my final thing on the regular season, for the amount of games that I was up in the press box, there were 2 clubs that were screaming in my ear after they scored, like actual staff of the team,
Mm-hmm.
LA Galaxy and Seattle Sounders, up there celebrating in the press box,
Wow.
being loud,
So
being
unprofessional.
ignorant, the unprofessionalism from those
SMH.
clubs.
If Riley didn't celebrate, they're not allowed to celebrate.
If Riley's more professional than you, there's a problem.
There's something wrong with your attitude,
Yeah.
Buster.
Do you have anything else?
No, let's wrap it up, Dan.
Let's wrap it up.
Wrap it up, Dan.
God dang. All right, then we'll see you. Are we doing? We could do an episode
A pre-match once we
pre-match.
know.
Yeah, once we know the result of the
KC game.
KC and San Jose game, we'll let you guys in on a little bit of action.
Yeah, we'll do some actual research. Not to say that we don't sit here and do
We'll
some
do some
research.
research. We'll spread some propaganda,
A little bit of both.
and we'll see you in the MLS Cup final.
We'll take a propaganda at the game.
Propagandization. Let's go, St. Louis on top.
Thank you for watching this episode of Soul of the City, brought to you by First Touch Media and Anchor FM. Make sure to check us out on YouTube at First Touch Media, and all of our socials are at First Touch 314. Thank you for watching.